everyone. So today we will solve Leetcode problem 435, non-overlapping intervals. So this problem states that we are given an array of intervals and we need to remove the intervals, we need to remove the minimum number of intervals such that all the remaining intervals are non-overlapping in nature. So if we take this example, we can see that 1, comma 2 does not overlap with this and this does not overlap with this, but the last interval 1 comma 3 overlaps with the second last interval, that is 3 comma 4. No, so 1 comma 2 overlaps with 3 comma 1 comma 3, and 1 comma 3 also overlaps with 2 comma 3. So we know that this is overlapping in nature. So if we remove this interval, all the rest of the intervals will non-overlapping in nature. So here the answer is 1 comma 3 and the output is 1. If we take this example, we can see that these two intervals overlap with this interval. So if we remove these two intervals, we can have the remaining intervals as non-overlapping in nature, and the answer is 2 here. If we take this example, all the intervals are non-overlapping in nature, so we don't need to remove any interval, so the answer is 0. So we can solve this by, first we will do is we'll sort the intervals array by their second values. So we'll sort the intervals array in ascending order of the second values. Why their end values? In why ascending order of their end values? Because we need to find the minimum number of intervals, right? So if we sort the intervals array with the ascending nature of the second value, that means we are always trying to prioritize this value to be small, because like if this value is small, then that means we can accommodate as many intervals as we can. If this value is small, then we can accommodate as many leftover intervals as we can, right? So that's why we will sort this on the basis of the second value, and then we will keep track of we'll keep two pointers. One is a current pointer and the other is a previous pointer, and then we will keep tracking whether the previous interval overlaps with the current interval or not. If it overlaps, then if it does not overlap, then we'll increase our count, and if it overlaps, then we will proceed without doing anything, and at the end we will return the count of non-overlapping intervals. We'll return the length of total intervals array minus count of non-overlapping intervals. So essentially what we are doing is we are counting all the non-overlapping intervals in the array, and our answer will then become length of the intervals minus length of non-overlapping intervals, right? And we'll sort by the end values of the interval, because we want to accommodate as many intervals as we can, because it says we need to find minimum number of intervals that we can remove. So let's start coding this. I'll first check if my length of intervals array is less than equal to 1. If it is, our answer will just be 0. We don't need to remove anything. Then I'll declare two variables. One is I0. Actually I1, because I'll just insert this, like I'll just consider this as non-overlapping, because first interval is always non-overlapping in nature. It will not overlap with anyone, so I'll just consider it as it is. Also, first I need to sort the intervals with the end values, so I'll pass in here intervals. I'll declare a function above this, so this will be sort intervals, and it will take intervals array, intervals double slice, and this will sort the slice. It will take intervals as an argument, and it will take one function. This will be I int, j int, and it will return a boolean, and we will check here if return intervals I1 less than equal to intervals j1. Now we have sorted the intervals. We will declare another variable count. That will count the number of non-overlapping intervals. It will also be 1, because we are always counting the initial interval. Then we will traverse through the array. I'll check for I less than length of intervals. Now I'll check whether the current interval overlaps with the previous interval. So for previous as well, I will keep a track. Previous will refer to 0 first. So I'll check if intervals I 0, if my current interval's first value is greater than equal to my previous interval's last value, then that means they don't overlap. I'll increase my count, right? Else I'll else I know that they do overlap. Else I know that they do overlap. So I just won't do anything here. I'll increase the count here and I'll update my previous to the current counter. At the end I'll increase I, and at the end I'll just return length of intervals minus count. Now let's run this and see if it works, and we can see it does. I'll submit it now, and we can see it's pretty efficient. So just to summarize, we are when our intervals don't overlap, then we increase our count of non-overlapping intervals and we update our previous value. If they do overlap, we don't do anything, we just increase our pointer, and at the end we will return length of intervals array minus length of non-overlapping intervals. So that's all for today. Thank you so much and bye.